Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Friday, December 6th, 2024. Let's find out what is going on the economic calendar for today. Japanese data during the Asian session were released. So we know now that household spending beats the expectations of minus of 0.4% with the actual number of 2.9% in Japan. We are still waiting for the Halifax House Price Index from the UK, which is scheduled for release at 8 o'clock. At the same time, we got the German industrial production and then German trade balance. Eurozone GDP is scheduled for release at 11 o'clock, and then we go to the main event of the day straight on non-farm payrolls, average hourly earnings and unemployment rate. All of this data are scheduled for release at 2:30, as they are every first Friday of the month. Then we got some data from the Canada, employment change and unemployment rate. 3:15, FOMC member Bowman will give a speech. At 4 o'clock, we got the IV PMI at 4 o'clock. Another bunch of data. Michigan 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations, consumer expectations, and the consumer sentiment data are scheduled for release. US Baker Hughes oil rig count and the total rig count is scheduled for a release at 7 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock FOMC member Daly will give a speech as well. And that's about it. European session will not be that much violate as the US session, because it looks like the non-farm payrolls will gather a lot of the interest all over the world, because one of these measures of the labor market is non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate and average hourly earnings, which are in some way connected with the potential interest rate cut or hike. In our situation, FOMC is expected to cut the interest rate on the next meeting in December, so this data might even straighten up the FOMC point of view. But that's the future. Today, NFP payrolls, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings today, 2:30. Well, let's find out what's going on charts. We start with euro-dollar. For our chart of the euro-dollar is bouncing up from the level of 1.0457. We almost hit the previous wave C high at 1.0598, and the market is apparently ready for another movement to the upside. There is a room on the momentum here. There is a room to the upside here as well. 1.0613 is the next level in case of a breakout higher. Then there is a very nice situation here for the bulls, because the next technical resistance is at 1.0762. There is a bunch of the potential resistances here, so please stay informed, stay focused, stay vigilant, because if we break to the upside, the momentum might get the bulls quite far away from the current levels. So euro-dollar, US dollar to the Japanese yen. Now, as indicated before, US dollar versus the Japanese yen moved higher from the lows of 148.66, and our blue arrow is showing us the key technical level here, and this level was almost hit. The local high was 151.24, level was 151.32, so only 8 pips miss. And then we got the bearish engulfing pattern, and the market keeps moving lower. For now, only the 50 periods moving average is providing the short-term dynamic support for the market participants. If there is a breakout lower below this level, the market will likely go towards the 148.66 swing low. If we switch to the daily, we can clearly see that the market almost retraced 50% of the last swing to the upside. So 50% is 148.20. So any movement to the downside will eventually target the 50% Fibonacci retracement, or even the 61% Fibonacci retracement. So again, to resume on a daily time frame chart, we broke out of the channel, we tested the channel from the below, and we were rejected. If we make a new low, we will have the new lower low. Eventually the best will target 50 or 61% Fibonacci retracement. On a daily time frame chart, there's plenty of room to the downside before we will hit the extremely oversold conditions on the RSI indicator. Let's take a look at the US dollar index. The US dollar index on a daily time frame chart is looking quite strong. There is a very interesting situation here. That's the level of 50, basically. Okay, let's say that this is the level of 50 on the RSI, daily RSI. We went down again from the extremely overbought conditions, bounced, went to the extremely overbought conditions. We went down again to the level of 50. Now the question is what the bulls will do. We got this technical support. It is obvious that we got this technical support that was violated before. Right now, this level is not actually the level that market cares about that much. This level is much more significant, but I will mark it as a resistance because the current price is below this level. The next quite important technical support might be located here, 104.61. The newest technical resistance is of course the swing high, 108.04. So we need to label this one, and even we should place arrow markdown above this level, indicating that this is very serious level. The last thing we are going to add to the chart from the technical point of view is obviously the trend line. And look at this trend line is very steep. You see, this trend line is very, very steep. Moreover, what we can do, we can even add the let's say we can add the parallel channel, because if we add the parallel channel, and the parallel channel would be, well, something like this, then we can easily see whether this channel here can be obviously expanded to the upside, and you can see that there is, well, something like this. Maybe it's not that bad. Sorry, my chart my chart is not enough. There you go. So this is how we this is the situation here on the US dollar index. The first of that we need to notice is that this is the wave A, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave C. So we have we have a 5-wave impulsive structure correction, 5-wave impulsive structure. So we either have the ABC correction to the upside during the downtrend, and that's it, we are done. Or there is another situation here. We have wave 1, wave 2, and we are now unfolding wave 3. But that means we cannot break below the highs of the previous wave 1, which is 104.62. So basically we should be going. We should be moving higher from this level here, 105.59, which will act as a technical support. The market participants cannot allow themselves, especially bulls, to the market fall out of the current levels, and even came closer to the 104.61, because otherwise it would mean that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential impulsive structure gets invalidated, and we got A, B, and C corrective structure, which means that we will visit again 100 level sooner or later. Right, so please keep an eye on the current situation, keep an eye on the how the market will react basically on the lows of the yesterday low and the low from the November 29th. Okay, so that's the US dollar index. One more index index related to the US A is of course the S&P 500, and S&P 500 is making new all-time high. 6,094 was the new all-time high that hit the extremely overbought conditions. What is particularly interesting is that last way of the that the market moves these days. So what do we have here is obviously this line. What do we have from the upside? Is something like that. It keeps looking like it is some sort of the wedge formation, right? And if this is the last stage of the bullish market, if this is the last stage of the uptrend, we should see very, very strong reversal and downside movement. However, nothing like this happens yet. The market looks very strong. The market looks very promising for the bulls. So it looks like we will see some sort of the upside movement again, especially if the today's NFP data spark the risk on environment. Local technical supports 6026 and 5881. And last but not least, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin broke above the 100,000 level, made a new all-time high at 104,617, and then made a very big decline to the downside. As you can see, yesterday's candle, typical pin bar with profit taking, and yesterday it went as low as 91,000. So very big volatility on the Bitcoin. You can clearly see that there is something going on here as we battle for $100,000 right now. Very big pin bar from the downside, with the downside shadow, lower shadow, indicating that there is a buying pressure here. However, it doesn't actually mean the market will be going up. Again, it looks more like we tested this territory here, almost hit the technical support at 90,876, and then bounced just back up. This all happened during the Asian session. Nevertheless, there is still on a daily time frame chart a big pin bar here after the new all-time high was made. So please consider the situation when the market might be a little bit more than exhausted, and it's correction time these days for the Bitcoin, and the altcoin season will likely prosper. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.